on bombshell with her honesty. Spicy and direct like a shot of heat. Gossip queens ruling every beat. Ooh, they're being so fun. Sharp tongues on the run. Gossip queens, baby, they just begun. Set the shade while they stun.
Hi, I'm Callie, and this is the Gossip Queens podcast.
And I'm Key. I'd like to say this week's episode is sponsored by Mosley's. So, Callie, how are you doing this week? How's it been?
I'm good. I can't really complain. The weather has been good. It's nice and sunny here in Los Santos, California. The birds are chirping. Good things are on the horizon. What about you? How's your week been? Anything exciting?
I'm doing great. I've been putting some hours in at EMS. I've been doing a little recycling. I got to get some capital together because, things are moving and things are going to be opening soon.
Oh, yes, and things are pricey. Business costs always add up. Take it from me. Speaking
Oh,
of businesses, oh no, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh no, you're good. You're totally right. I mean, just purchasing, the building and with building permits and with the actual construction. Whew, girl, it's some money, but it is worth it. This is gonna be amazing. So, what were
Oh,
you
I
gonna
can't.
say, girl?
Well, first off, I can't wait to see what you do. But I was just going to say, speaking of businesses, let's talk about a certain business relocating and rebranding into Los Santos Customs in Rockford, formerly known as Afterlife. What do you think of that?
I'm excited for it. I love Afterlife. We both work there. It's great, but it. I feel like it's lost its track, and I'm hoping that maybe the move into the city and people coming back to work and maybe hiring some new blood on is going to reimagine the whole shop altogether. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I think location's a big portion of it, and I think it brings a lot of energy being in the heart of the city versus kind of being down by the waters on South Side. It's very hard to get to people there, I think.
I hear ya. I hear ya. Speaking of that relocation and the new ownership, Mike and Nana, they were officially married before they ever even dated or considered dating. Have you heard about that? And what do you think about that? What do you know about this?
I have also heard this story, and if the sources are correct, I heard the same thing, and I think it's actually a really beautiful little love story. So apparently, and again, this is if the sources are correct, that's all alleged. I never like to assume. But they had been kind of kamikaze jump married by Brad, the judge. And apparently, they really weren't even dating or seeing each other at the time. And over a few weeks of them having this marriage sprung on by the judge, they actually fell in love. They fell in love, Key. Isn't that cute?
Oh, it's amazing. And if I remember correctly from the conversation I had, I believe he has officially proposed to her after they're married. But, I think that means even more, honestly, because they are married, but now he's really, making that commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, taking it to the next step, kind of making it more official for them and their journey, I can only assume. So I think that's very special, and I'm proud of them, and I'm happy for them, and I can't wait to see. And I hope to see a little pitter patter around the place.
Right? Oh, yeah. Have you heard about there's going to be an event in Mirror Park?
I did hear a little bit about that. I don't know all the details, but I do know there's supposed to be some games and party decor, and I think they're doing some kind of like little fight ring And it is open to everybody, but I don't know exactly who's hosting it. I don't know who it's affiliated with. And yeah, that's really all I know on that. What about you?
I'm honestly excited for it. I love all the events that happen in the city, all the businesses throwing events, but sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to see people out in the community stepping up and they see all these fun events and they're like, you know what, I want to do something. And following through, I'm actually going to be working the event as EMS that night because I heard there's gonna be some possible brawling there. Permitted, of course, of course, of course. So they're gonna need a lot of bandages put on them.
And who better for the job than KMS? Speaking of EMS, I had to ask you some things going on with the hospital. I don't really know anything, but I know that there's some big changes and there's some new head of command. Tell me, do you know anything? What's the hot goss?
Oh yeah, so we had someone new come in and take over the hospital. Her name is Lila, I believe, or I think they call her EMS Lila, something like that. There's a name a nickname that the city seems to have for her based on her birdie handle. um, and then we've got some people who, one of our ladies, she actually has worked at the hospital for a while, but unfortunately, how things were before, she just could never find the time to connect with someone to get her all trained up. So now she's trained up and ready to go. We've got Sam Jacobs. He's all ready to go. He's out there helping people when he's able. And we have another new employee that just started this past week. I met her at the drag race event, and I've seen her a few times. She seems to be a go-getter,
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know much about the hospital, but it's always good to get a little update and see what's going on. And, if there's anything we'd like to see from them and that kind of thing, it's always a good little talking point.
Oh yeah, I'd really love to hear from the community. Like, what more would they like to see from our hospital or our EMS staff? What do you think may be missing or could be improved upon about our services and just anything in general connected with the hospital? If you'd like to let us know, please reach out. What do you think? What kind of upcoming events, since you are the event queen, what events do we have coming up this month so far?
Well, I have to be honest. There was one I didn't even know about, and that is on Friday the 8th. I guess there's a Beat the Heat event with the police department. Absolutely no clue what that's about. Again, just heard about it today. I have no details. I've seen no advertising, no discussion, so I can't comment on that. But I do know we have a fun little lineup this month. And I do know for this first portion, you will be experiencing two from myself. And then you will be experiencing a wonderful one from town and then the Mirror Block Party. So we have Lover's Lane on the 9th, which is kind of like a lovey-dovey, cute little trivia night with speed dating and fun. Then you have a house party on the 13th, postal 7062. On the 15th, you have Pirate Night with the town. Can't wait to see what M's come up with for that. I'm assuming we can snag some booty, if you know what I mean. And then one day later on the 16th, we have the block party we were just talking about. So we have a pretty good lineup for this first half of the month.
Oh yeah, it sounds like it. Speaking of the pirate party, I've got a little joke for you. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R?
Arr! Oh, yeah, you got it. You knew it. I know. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie.
Cute. Speaking of goodies, what's a good thing that you think happened this week? A positive of the week, and we can obviously after discuss a negative. But what's one positive you noticed this week? Whether it be the community, whether it be an outstanding citizen, whether it be the police department standing up and doing a better job. What is your positive for the week?
I would have to say the positive of the week for me would be the summer event. I think that was beautiful, and I feel like so many people enjoyed their time there, and getting all kinds of goodies and supporting. It's just I love when like all the businesses and the government come together to make something so phenomenal, you know?
I actually couldn't agree more. That's actually my positive and my negative of the week, but we'll get into that. The positive, I couldn't agree more. I thought it was just a beautiful collaboration. I've never seen so many collaborative and cooperative businesses. And M, as always, really turns up a beautiful event. And I think a lot of people had fun and they were talking about it for days. It was spectacular. It was great.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes, and I mean, I've seen. I wasn't able to attend for too long that day, but I saw all kinds of fun little goodies that people got from the event, and I did pick up a few. I have them in one of my bags at my house. I have it tagged as collectibles. But what you said that also might relate to your negative. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, this was a tough one, and I actually didn't run this by you. This is kind of me going rogue off book, but my negative this week, it really it didn't even happen to me necessarily, but it's really stemmed something in me that's kind of brought up some other things. The negative that also happened at the same Summerfest event was there were some police officers that were waiting out in the parking lot, waiting to arrest one of the patrons, if not two, if I'm not mistaken, if my sources are correct. But they were just sitting out there waiting to arrest people. So they couldn't show up and support, but they could come to arrest. And that's why it was my negative of this week, because I feel like a lot of the times, um, police, they're lovely. I have always had good interactions for the most part. They've never been disrespectful to me, but I feel like when it comes to events, sometimes I feel like we're often looked at as maybe an accessory or like a side piece. And it wouldn't hurt to get some more collaboration with them going on in the community. That would be my negative. Would be needing some more improvement with the collaboration with the police and the citizens.
Oh, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean, and in the same vein, I it could possibly help PD there, to be out in the community sometimes, like during an event, especially an event like on that scale, like to have come out and, be seen and be known as a human and not just someone who's out there just looking to catch you all the time. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does, but I like for them to be humanized sometimes, because we sometimes only see a certain side of people, and it's good to see all of them, right?
I couldn't agree. You're only seeing the badge and you never get to really see the people behind them. And I can personally speak behind the badge. Sometimes there's a beautiful, kind soul. And I feel like maybe if there was some more collaboration and inclusion working with businesses, even if it were just one event a month, anything like that, I really think the police need to get more active with the community and not just villainizing everybody and alienating themselves. I feel like there's a potential here for a beautiful blossoming collaboration, and it's just not happening. And I feel like there's a disconnect or a lack of trying. I can't quite pinpoint it. But that would be my improvement slash negative of the week.
I couldn't agree more, girl. But speaking of police, did you hear about the apparently a few nights ago, I believe, they raided Grove Street. I don't know many details about it, but I have heard that the Phantom Wolves were involved in this raid. That's about. Again, not a lot of detail is out there for us as I've tried to obtain more and more. You know, I'm out there listening all the time. What have you heard about it, Callie?
I haven't really heard anything on the Grove Street raid other than that police refused to comment. And I couldn't imagine why, because I would assume that the case is already done with, so they'd probably be legally able to speak about it. Who knows? I don't know. But no comment from the police department. That's the only thing we've heard. So we don't know what's going on Grove Street. Could be drugs, could be people being harmed. We have no clue, and the police won't tell us.
Well, you know what? Why don't we ask the community to let us know? You could join our email, and we have an anonymous area where you can send us information that you'd like to hear or that you think we should know about. And if you send us any information related to this, we may be able to talk more about this next week on next week's podcast. How do you feel about that, Callie?
I think it's cute. And everybody remember, it would be anonymous, so your name would not be attached. There would be no worries. So send us all a juicy gossip. Again, anonymous reporting in the Gossip Queens podcast email.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, since we're talking about the Phantom Wolves, apparently there was some birdie beef I heard about with the Phantom Wolves recently. Have you heard about it?
I haven't heard too much hot goss talk about it, but what I have heard is that the Phantom Wolves were allegedly threatening a person who goes by the name of Dot on Birdie. And I believe that from what I had seen and from what I had been told, they had an association with Emerald Kings, which I guess is where this beef is coming from. So long story short, Phantom Wolves seems to be threatening the Emerald Kings on Birdie. But what I would like to know, and I don't know if you know, but it would be nice if someone would, what is this beef about? Why is there so much beef going around? What's going on? Is this a territory war, a pissing contest? I want to know. I'm interested. This genuinely has me intrigued.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely like to know more about that as well. Like, what sparked this feud? Who did what to who to just start this fire that seems to be growing? You know?
And not slowing down anytime soon. It doesn't seem like it.
Oh, definitely so. Definitely so. Oh, girl, I don't know if I've told you about this. So, this past week, we had quite I had quite an interesting experience, let's say. Experience. So, I was working at the hospital, so I have to be careful about what I can say and can't say. But since, I'm just going to spill the beans without saying names, okay? Because, I think we're safe there. Apparently, someone in the community has been tinkering with Mother Nature. And they created a slew of clones. Clones, I tell you. Clones. I've never seen it in all my life. I was very confused. Someone came to the hospital for treatment, and then there were all these people that looked the same, and so on and so forth, and I'm just sitting there like, but here's the funny part, or not funny, but interesting part. Apparently, they created them without vocal cords. So they couldn't speak. They were using sign language to communicate, and they were not happy about it. So let's fast forward a little while. I'm out there, I'm taking calls, I'm taking care of people. And then I get a call from PD that I am needed immediately down at the station. So I rush down there, right? And then what do I see? I see the clones surrounding the individual that had created them. And they are on the ground. They're laying down. They look like they're passed out. So PD is working to de-escalate the situation with the clones. They were working so well. I have to give them props where props are due. Like, they were trying to emulate them and, work their way to calm them down because they were angry. They'd seen me at the hospital. They knew I was, I think they said the healer or something to that extent. I can't remember because it was just so crazy. So they let me slip by to check out the creator and make sure he was okay. Well, here's the plot twist, girl. He was so scared for his life. And if I had told them he was alive and well, they would have killed him. So, get this. I had to fake his death. And then they, in their anger, of course, subsided a little bit because their desired result they thought had been achieved. And they left the area. But, girl, this is something I have never encountered and just did. I was just at a loss for words. I didn't know what to do.
What in the fuck were you smoking that night? And could I have some? That sounds
no.
great.
No, girl, you can ask the community. It was all over Birdie. Everybody was like, what's going on at PD? And there was just a mass confusion. Luckily, I believe they only had a 48-hour lifespan. And at that point, they only had about 4 hours left before they would, I guess, turn to... I don't know if they're like vampires and turn to... I don't know how it works. I've never dealt with a clone before. I'm not going to lie. I was scared shitless, girl. Scared shitless.
Yeah, you were on a roll that night. Wow. What the heck? I kind of wish I had been there. That sounds crazy, but I'm glad. I guess it sounds like no one was hurt in the end.
Exactly. And the creator realized their mistake, and they were so thankful that we were able to, between EMS and PD, resolve the situation as best we could, and kind of just move on. I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
No, good. I'm glad.
Yes. So, Callie, do you have any words from our sponsor this week?
I do. I was actually going to say, speaking of our city and keeping it safe, this city's favorite pit stop, Mosley's Auto Shop, which is who has sponsored this episode of the podcast. Whether you're rolling in on four wheels, to, or from the skies above, Mosley's has you covered. From repairs and upgrades to custom cosmetics, harness, installs, and a fresh car wash, they do it all. Cruise down to Postal 9092. That is 9092. In the heart of the city, kick back, say hi, and let the crew take care of your ride.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I go to Mosley's sometimes when I need something done, and I know I could just go take care of it myself. But sometimes, you just need to trust in someone else and let someone else do it. Sometimes you just don't want to do the work. Let's be honest, on your own stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And I like to support everybody equally. I stop everywhere. I visit everybody. And I never want anyone to feel left out. And Rexy and Charles have been absolutely lovely and kind to me. So I'd have no reason to not. They're wonderful.
Oh yes, yes, they're amazing. They are very kind-hearted and supportive individuals. I feel like from
Who do a
everything
lot for
that
the
I know of them.
community.
Definitely so. Okay, girl. I'm sorry. I gotta do a shameless plug. I gotta do a shameless plug. Don't.
Uh-oh.
I finally they're working on the builders are working. The builders are working, girl. And tequila la is in the works. We have our tentative menu ready, girl. Tentative menu ready. I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. But that being said, we have our grand opening planned. I'm excited. I'm
Oh, I can't
excited.
wait.
So stay tuned for more information on that. Callie, is there anything else you'd like to discuss today?
No, just that I hope everybody has a great week. If you have any more information on that police raid at Grove Street involving the Phantom Wolves, or if you feel like supporting your local mechanic shop, Mosley's Auto Shop, who has supported and sponsored this episode, please, reach out. Those are the only two things I can think of.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. And if you have any other information and you don't see us in the city, please feel free to share it in our email. We're always checking, and we love to hear the gossip and try and figure out sometimes what's going on if you don't even have all the information. Sometimes we like to do a little of the research to the best of our ability, and we love to know what's going on and let everybody know what's going on. We'd like to thank you for tuning in today to the Gossip Queens podcast. I'm Key.
And I'm Callie. See you next week.
Blue hair blazing, he's spilling the tea. Blonde bombshell with her honesty. Spicy and direct like a shot of heat. Gossip queens ruling every beat. Ooh, they're being so fun. Sharp tongues on the run. Gossip queens, baby.